What's crazy is that this isn't even all of it. This is only the English books. I have a lot of French books I've never even touched. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and also liking. So today we are going to talk about my physical TBR, all of the books I physically own and have not read yet. I did not realize it was so many books. I honestly thought that my bookshelf was mostly composed of like books I've read and then quite a few that I still have to read. But no, it turns out most of my bookshelf is books that I haven't read yet. So let's go through these very quickly. There's quite a few stacks here, as you guys saw in the thumbnail. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, okay, let's go through it. The first stack is just general fiction, like lit fic, and then a couple just like romance books, just general fiction. Starting off with Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. This I bought because I saw someone say that it's perfect for INTJs, and I'm an INTJ, and I saw it at the thrift store, so I bought it. Sula by Toni Morrison is just one of the authors that I've been meaning to read her backlog, or she's not really coming out with new books, but like I've been meaning to read her books, so I bought this one. I saw it on eBay for a good price and it intrigued me. A Little Life is kind of one that is so polarizing. Some people absolutely adore it, some people hate it, like hate it, worst book ever, and I just kind of want to see where I fall in that line, so I found it at the thrift store and I bought it. Master and the Margarita, this is one that, I don't know, I really love the cover, and this is Russian literature, and I've been meaning to get more into Russian literature, and they are having a deal on Amazon, and I was like, let me cop. Enchanted April is one that I think I heard one of my favorite TikTokers, I think she talked about this one, but yeah, I was very intrigued by the storyline and everything, and so I bought it off of eBay, and I have it. This one I actually got as a gift, You Dreamed of Empires. This one my dad gave me, but it was on my TBR, so it was kind of like cute. And I've been meaning to read this. It's been on my TBR for like my monthly TBRs, at least 4 monthly TBRs this year, or maybe 3, and I still haven't read it, so. Okay, for romance books, I've got One Last Stop. This one I bought because I really liked Cassie McQuiston's Red, White, and Royal Blue. So when this one came out, I decided to buy it, and then I didn't read it. Siren Queen is just one that I heard about somewhere, and so I added it to my Goodreads TBR, and then I found it at the thrift store for $1. So I was like, this is in really good condition. I can't pass it up. So I purchased it. Jane Unlimited is like a mystery, and I bought this one because I saw in an article that it was great for fans of Six of Crows, and I had just finished Six of Crows, or like maybe in the middle of reading Six of Crows, and I really wanted something similar, so I bought it, and it's been like 3 years on my bookshelf. This one kind of has a funny story. Bar to You by Sylvia Day. So now I know that this is an erotica, but at the time that I purchased this, when I was probably 14, I didn't. I heard about it somewhere. I don't know if it was TikTok or YouTube or someone was talking about it, but I heard about it. And so I told my friend, who at the time we were really close and both of us really loved to read, so I was like, let's read this book together. So we went to Strand Bookstore to purchase this, and we were probably 14, like freshman year, and they sold it to us. So I don't I guess like they can't not sell a book to someone, but my friend ended up reading it. I never read it. She was like, it was interesting. So now I know Sylvia Day is an erotica author. Tia Williams, The Perfect Find. Now Tia Williams is my favorite romance author, and I read 2 of her books this year, and so I wanted to read her backlog, and I purchased this one because it was on Book Outlet for really cheap, and I want to read all her books. I love her. The Rehearsals is actually a book that the same friend I just talked about bought me for my birthday like many years ago, and I never read it. I don't know, I feel like I was never really into the storyline, but at some points I do want to read all of these books, so this will get read. I don't know when though. And then Lessons in Chemistry, I talked about this book to my mom, and then my mom ended up buying it because she wanted to read it, and then she gifted it to me. So I have still not read the book, even though I'm the one who literally introduced the book to her, but she says she really enjoyed it, and they have a TV show now, so we'll see. Next, we've got some nonfiction and memoirs, and then YA. First in YA, we've got All the Bright Places, which I bought at Target. There's still the sticker residue. And yeah, I must have heard about this on TikTok like 3 years ago, and then I never read it. The Way I Used to Be, 100%, I heard about this through TikTok. I think it was very popular 2020, 2021. I mean, I still see people read this in reading vlogs, so I'm considering reading it, but I never read it. So I even actually asked my mom to pick it up at the bookstore for me. And I feel bad now because I just didn't read it. What's it called? Absolute True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. This one was on like a school book list, like a summer reading list. And so I was picking a couple books to buy from that reading list. I chose this one and then I didn't do the assignment. So I didn't read the book. And this was probably in middle school. So like good 7 years ago. Middle school? Could have been high school. Could have been freshman year. I don't know. But it was a while ago, like at least 4 years ago. They both die at the end. This one's tabbed, so you might be wondering what happened there. Well, this is my copy, and I never read it, even though it was really popular on TikTok. But my sister did, so she's the one who tabbed it. She was having the time of her life, but yeah, I still haven't read it. First Life, I honestly think I got this at a Scholastic fair in middle school. So it's been 7 years that it's been sitting on my bookshelf. I have no idea what this book is about. I Must Betray You by Ruta Septys. I really, really adored Ruta Septys growing up. She was my favorite author, and she's recently been dethroned by Tia Williams. And also because I'm no longer her primary audience. She writes for middle grade and YA teens. And I now read adult historical fiction if I want to read historical fiction. But this is the only book of hers I haven't read. And so I wanted to purchase it so I can have a complete collection because I do own all of her books except one, I think. The Communist Manifesto. Yeah, I haven't read it yet, but to be fair, this is one of my most recent book purchases. It's gonna get read in 2025. It's a goal of mine to read the Communist Manifesto. I mean, it's very necessary as someone who wants to become a lawyer and very much, I don't know. I'm not an activist per se, but I'm really into politics and economics, so... and history, so yeah. Fresh Off the Boat. This one is a memoir that I also got the same time I needed to do the school assignment and then didn't end up reading. So we've got this. It's a memoir, but I was reading actually the back when I was compiling all of these books, and a lot of people seem to really like this, and it seems kind of short and funny. So I think I actually might read it. My Grandfather Would Have Shot Me. This one's kind of very much depressing. I got this at the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. when I went in 7th grade. I'm graduated. I'm 18. Like, a very long time ago. I still haven't read it, but I do want to. I do want to read this book. Descent into Chaos. This is a book about U.S. interference in the Middle East, and I was in a period last year, I think, where I was really into Middle Eastern current events and modern history, and I still am, but I just bought this book because of that. Oh, there's that. And I never read it, but I think this is at the top of my nonfiction TBR because I am very, very not excited, but intrigued to see what's happening in the book. And then last one for memoirs is Michelle Obama's Becoming. I remember growing up I grew up in the Obama age, obviously, which was kind of recently, but yeah, I grew up in the Obama age when I first really started reading history books and textbooks and learning about the presidents. I was about like 7 or 8, and I was into the Obamas, very much into the Obamas. Now that I'm much older, I obviously know never to admire political figures, especially US presidents, because they're all corrupt, but I did buy this book because I still hold a special place in my heart for Michelle Obama because of the hate she went through. Honestly, all the Obamas went through a lot of hate from Americans, so I will always defend them on that front. Not for war crimes though, but I am still intrigued to read this book. Okay, whoops. Now for fantasy book or fantasy pile 1. I've got the Dune series, so Dune 1, 2, and 3. There's 6 books in total, so I've got half the series, but I've been meaning to read this. I recently got really into Dune Prophecy, and I watched both Dune movies this year, I'm pretty sure, and I just became absolutely obsessed with the Dune world, the universe. So I'm gonna become a fantasy bro and read the series in 2025. Another kind of fantasy bro book, Brandon Sanderson, The Lost Metal. This is Miss Bourne's book 7. So I bought it because it was on sale for $6. So like I was like, oh, I can't pass up this brand new book for $6, but I don't have any other book from Brandon Sanderson. So it will be years, if ever, that I read this book. And then a chunky book. Whoa, I almost dropped it. A Day of Fallen Night. This one is honestly going to be, I don't know, if I do manage to ever read this book, I will be so impressed and just in awe of myself and my intellect and everything for being able to get through this entire chunkster. I think one day I'm gonna need to have nothing going on to finally sit down and start this book, because otherwise, I don't know. Fantasy Pile 2, let's go. Robin Hobb, Assassin's Apprentice. I bought this year and I've been meaning to read the series. I've been meaning to start Robin Hobb, and I think I will in 2025, but I'm still debating if I want to sell this one or donate it or something and then get the really pretty UK editions. I'll put like one up here because I prefer those editions so much more than this one. It's also kind of impractical to read in a mass paperback, but at the same time, I don't know. Half a Soul, I bought this for a YouTube video that I didn't buy it for a YouTube video, but I had it with the goal of reading it during a reading vlog, and then I didn't film the reading vlog because I was very busy, so I just didn't read the books for that reading vlog, so I didn't read it. But I think it's gonna be a nice, like, springy fantasy vibe. Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. Now this, I bought this kind of as like a trophy because I watched The Untamed twice, and the Untamed has 50 episodes, so I watched 100 episodes basically of The Untamed. And then I actually did read the translated version, like the fan-made translation of the book, because this started off like it's a Chinese book, and so before they came out with these physical English translations, some fans like had whole websites where they would translate every chapter, and I read that. So I don't really know why about this. I think it's because I had just finished rewatching The Untamed for the second time, and I really wanted the series, but I started reading it and I'm like, I literally know exactly what's gonna happen in the next paragraph. Like, I know this story already. Foundry Side, I don't know. I got this because it was on my TBR. I must have added it at some point, and I found it at the thrift store for $1, so. Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Now, I was meant to read this. I actually got my mom right after I finished Six of Crows, like 30 minutes after I finished Six of Crows. My mom was going out grocery shopping next to a Barnes & Noble, so I was like, Mom, you have to stop by Barnes & Nobles. You have to buy me the second book. I need to read it right now. And I did not read it. I did not read it then, and I have not read it since. It's probably been a year and a half, 2 years, because I got spoiled something that's gonna happen in this book, and I'm in denial. As long as I don't read about it, it didn't happen. So I don't know when I'm ever gonna read this book. 5th Season. I bought this for a book club, and everyone else in the book club read it, and I didn't. So now I have it. Game of Thrones. I got this for Christmas last year, and low-key, they came out with really pretty covers this year, and I was kind of like, I didn't even read these. Like, I want the new pretty covers, but that's absolutely wasteful. I will not be doing that. They're little small mass paperbacks, and I read Fire and Blood, which is an accomplishment. Like, I read Fire and Blood, and it was in this little mass paperback, and I really disliked the feel of the mass paperback. Like, it was so hard to read, so I'm probably going to suffer while reading these, but they're cute. I like how they look, and they smell good. But yeah, this is book 1. This is book 2. Book 3, which looks even chunkier. Book 4, and book 5. Now, George R.R. Martin hasn't finished writing these, or the series, so yeah. I would say it's the complete series, but it's not, and his fans are mad at him. Maybe once I finish the series, I will get mad at him. But I do remember when I did the Fire and Blood reading vlog, someone mentioned how they wanted me to do a reading vlog of reading the Game of Thrones. But like, reading the whole series is probably gonna take me like months and months. So I don't know if I can do a whole reading vlog of the whole series, but I will definitely update when I start reading them and, you know, how I feel about it. So yeah. The last pile is like classics, kind of like modern classics, just classics in general. So I became obsessed with the New York Review book covers. Like, I just became obsessed. So I found this one on Etsy and I bought it. Fortunes of War, the Balkan Trilogy. It is humongous. Honestly, I have no idea when I'm gonna read this. It's gonna have to be like a month where I have nothing to do and I just read the whole thing. And then these two I bought like at a bookstore because I liked the covers, obviously. And then I also liked what they were about, so I bought them, but I couldn't really tell you what they're about, except I think this one, they're like in Italy, which I like Italy, so I was like, eh. I got this for Christmas. Still haven't read it, which is crazy because I've been wanting to read this for so long, and like I've picked it up, right? All I have to do is just get past the general introduction, but it's 50 pages long, and I don't want to start reading the book without having read the introduction, but I can't get through the introduction. Little Women, it's a chunkster. I bought this years ago. I thought I would read it. I haven't read it yet. I don't know if I'll ever read it. The thing is that Target used to have like these $1 books in the $1 section for like kids. So they'd be like classics but condensed. And so I read Little Women that way with a condensed $1 book. I kind of feel like I already know what's going to happen, but obviously not, because this is a humongous book and so much happens. I also watched the movie, so I don't know. But I feel like Little Women I just feel like it's affected so much of like the movie industry, like the film industry, and also like other books. I feel like a lot of books, especially about sisterhood, is strongly inspired by Little Women, so I feel like it's obviously a really important piece of literature to read, but I just haven't got to it yet. We got Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. I watched the movie, the recent one with Keira Knightley, I think, 2 times. Still haven't read this book. This one, to be fair, I bought it this year, The Age of Innocence. I'll read it in spring, but it was set in New York City, I'm pretty sure, and it really intrigued me, and I'm kind of collecting Penguin classics, so. Jane Austen's Emma. I also wanted to read it for the same reading vlog as this one, but then obviously the reading vlog didn't happen, and also my sister's name is Emma, so I feel weird reading books where the character's name is Emma, or just like any family member's name. It feels weird, especially if there's a romance. It just feels weird because I'm just imagining my sister, and I don't want to be imagining my sister in a romance book. It's not like that I'm purposely doing it. It's just like when someone says Emma, I just think of my sister because she's my sister, you know? Okay, last 2 books. 1984 by George Orwell. Still haven't read any of George Orwell books, which is honestly an embarrassment, so yeah, I got it. I don't know. I was probably trying to be kind of intellectual and reading the necessary classics, and then I didn't read it. And then, I mean, this is so ambitious. The fact that I stole this from my mom and claimed it as myself because I thought I would read it. War and Peace. I thought I would read War and Peace. I mean, probably if I'm ever forced to, or if once again I have absolutely nothing to do with my life, I will pick up this brick. Other than that, plus it's a relic. Look how old and yellow these pages are. I don't know if I'm ever gonna read that. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please again consider liking and subscribing. I really appreciate all of you guys, and a little secret, I'm hoping to reach 300 by the end of the year. So these are all the books. If you guys want me to do any reading vlog, reading any of these books, mention any of the books once I've finished reading them or when I'm in the process of reading them, let me know. If any of these books are also on your physical TBR or just your TBR in general, also let me know. I love comments. I love you guys. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye. See you soon.